Welcome to my presentation of combining digital and visual arts curriculum. Today's presentation on technology in a visual arts classroom. Today, I will briefly summarize the exposure preteen to teenage kids have daily to digital media, as well as why incorporating digital media arts into their routine art education will benefit students and the economy. I am passionate about this subject. Kids are growing up utilizing electronic media beyond the comprehension of many adults for a wide range of purposes, including social media, information searches, gaming, shopping, self-expression, social activism, influence on peers, and identifying with themselves and others. Teachers should definitely take advantage of student interest and their ability and in turn create a learning environment that encourages extensive interest and stimulates insightful works of art. Media exposure of kids ages 18 to 18 is over 10 hours a day. In 2010, the Kaiser Family Foundation study releases that the average kid spends over 6 hours a day watching TV, 1.5 hours on a computer, and almost 40 minutes exposed to print media, an average of over 10 hours of exposure each day. Other forms of media included video game time, movie time, and music. Most of these kids are doing at least two of these things at the same time to average over 10 hours a day of media exposure. So, kids today have continuous access to and interaction with multiple forms of media. Online blogs, news feeds, photo streams, social media, RSS updates, and TV are some of the strongest impacts on how teens and preteens are communicating. The influence of human interaction might be the single stronger element contributing to the formation of their identities. It is likely this indulgence in media has increased since the 2010 study, as has the use of technology in the classrooms. Let's bring some creative forces together and combine technology and art. Art education contributes to creativity, which contributes to innovation. In order for our country to produce passionate and intelligent innovators, we must encourage their creativity continuously. Keeping the visual arts in schools should be a priority. Students are creative in art classrooms and stimulated to produce strong works of art reflecting individualism. Technology should be incorporated into art teaching practices as an open-ended and self-expression tool in the art-making process. Students and teachers do not need to be experts on software, but rather to be creative and with the tools in the software that will help cultivate their style and artistic goals. Ways to implement technology in a visual arts classroom. Photo manipulation, illustration, stop motion, and more are all beginner-level activities using basic or professional artistic software. A sculpture assignment can be documented or reinterpreted as a digital assignment in numerous ways. The obvious problem here is that an art classroom is not a computer lab. If you cannot obtain one or two computers in your classroom with software, then access the lab that does allow for it and make sure part of the assignment is completed in your classroom before sending the students on. Photography, storyboards, possible effects can all be sketched out or produced in the hands-on art studio. Allowing students to complete a project outside of class or as a small group will encourage students to learn from each other, as well as to find tutorials online for simple but exciting steps for using digital media forms. If your school does not have access to creative computer software products, I suggest teachers continue the proactive use of media by asking students to blog about their projects. Another option is to place examples of projects or digital images online and have an open critique. The more your students are using technology, the more sources you have for grant writing to get that new machine fully loaded with the Creative Cloud. Teaching history and studio practices in a digital media art classroom. To teach art history with a focus on digital media design applications, a teacher can start with the basics, including line, color, size, composition. Looking at the timeless elements will accentuate any time period congruently being taught. The arts are about transforming lingering questions into tangible aesthetic products and experiences. Today's middle through high school visual art curriculum is not as much about traditional hands-on teaching and learning, but about the understandings and acceptance of the rigorous challenges these professional fields endure. All college-level fine arts students must grasp and advance in art history courses to succeed in an advanced degree program. Teachers have the challenge to make it interesting at an early age by incorporating forms of media students are using at a growing rate. Art classrooms should incorporate digital media arts. Teaching students the basics in the advancing artistic technologies will increase momentum and ingenuity. Art education is essential to the understanding of visual culture. Kids today are enveloped in media forms that, when placed in a classroom, will accentuate their creative abilities. By engaging in such practices, art educators can develop informed perspectives about and through the ways our students see the digitally mediated world around them.